So who wants to take it apart and see what's inside? I blame you guys. You all jinxed me. Literally a few days ago, I made a video dealing with low voltage shorts. And I introduced this to a few of you, and I got all these comments. Don't use those. Those fail. I've had those fail on me. Those have cost me transformers. And I'm thinking, that's some dumb luck. Today, this failed on me. I left all the wiring intact. I just pulled out the old fuse, plugged this in. When I plugged the second spade in, I saw the spark. And I'm like, oh, it's going to kick. It's going to kick. Right? Shit, it ain't going to kick. And I have to unplug it real quick. I have had one of these in my bag for the last 10 years. Just 2 months ago, it came up missing. So I was in the supply house. I saw it on the wall. I was like, give me that. I need to replace that. And I've used this one a few times since I got it. And then today. So you know what I did? I connected it to high voltage and intentionally grounded it. Still didn't pop. So here I am. I've got it hooked back to my little test board. I'm going to take an amp draw. On my sequencer, I have used my jumper here to jumper from one side to the other, creating a dead short as soon as I turn the switch on. Let's see what happens. So we're going to turn it on. 11 amps. Turn it back on. 11 amps. No poppy. So I could probably take this back and have them give me another one since it's only been a few months, but I'm going to trust you guys. Chalk it up till they don't make things like they used to, because I had one of these for years. So instead, let's do an autopsy. So it's got a rivet holding that on there. And they've hidden even more rivets underneath that. So we take the top off. This is what we're left with. So it looks like when that lifts up, then that is popped. So their little bimetal apparently isn't actuating. You know what, for shits and giggles, let's plug it back up. So test number 2. Still no poppy. So this little snap disc should heat up and flex. And when that flexes up, it lets this spring come forward. So Lil Popper, you guys have a problem with this piece right here. You might want to look into it. I had one of these for a long time. Loved it. The failure rate on your newer products, not good. So as an alternative to these, a few of you have mentioned the Short Pro tool from Amazon. When you look at how it works, for those of you that know how those tattletale fuses work, this Short Pro tool is basically utilizing that same principle. Alright, so these lights work on 12 volts, 24 volts, or 110 volt AC. They basically just have 2 wires you attach on the back. If you take and attach 2 male adapters and plug them in where the fuse is, you basically have yourself a Short Pro tool. I have these 2 red wires wired to that red light. So I'm just simply jumping off of those right over here to my board where the fuse would plug in, and everything is on and working fine. So when you use the Short Pro tool, you got to make sure everything in the system's off. Turn the thermostat off, no fan, no heat, no nothing. Because if you have anything turned on and running, your light's going to come on. Essentially what this is doing is your hot's coming out. It's going to go all the way through the bulb, come right back into there. So right now we have hot on both sides of this. So I have one of these hooked to red, and I have one of these hooked to common. If there's a short in the system, instead of both of these wires being hot, that short is turning this one into a common. So instead of blowing the fuse, it is just using that electricity. So essentially, even instead of having a light hooked to it, we could take and just take a contactor we could wire a contactor into each side where that fuse was. So now if I make that short, instead of it burning up my transformer or blowing a fuse, it's just going to use that electric and work the contactor. Electricity has to be converted to something. If we don't convert it to another force, electromagnetic force, light, heat, resistance heaters, it's going to generate heat in the wires. So that's how the fuses work. If that electricity is not being converted to anything, it's going to convert to heat and it's going to burn that fuse. I myself am going to save my money and not buy the short tool. I'm just going to buy some more LED lights. You can also get those on Amazon. You can get 10 of those for $13. So I appreciate you guys' time here. Hopefully Lil Popper will see this and do something different with their little bimetal disc that aren't working. Or if any of you guys know anything else out there on the market, let us know.